Miss Kelly, year 7, let's tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. Waiting on Google for you to log in. Tap, tap, tap in. Forget COVID, let's work, kids, tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. JM, that's the fam, let's tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. Back in September, year to remember. I'ma show you how to solve problems like a winner. Count on Desmos, work on your paper. You better learn these keystrokes, I need you to remember. New teacher of the year, but I'm no beginner. When I post work, all my students get better. SOL's killed them. Oh, you don't remember? I don't teach quitters, hope your dreams get bigger. Principal on my line, telling me it's high time. Ended up in Northside. This is your day job. Schoolwork does not stop. You don't need a stopwatch. Better be ready to take these notes. Working real hard, can't wait to see your growth. Follow us on IG, don't forget the underscore. Class of 2021, it's time for you to soar.
Miss Murray, principal, let's tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. Waiting on Google for you to log in. Tap, tap, tap in. Forget COVID, let's work, kids, tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. JM, that's a fam, let's tap in. Tap, tap, tap in. Old Brook Road, there's a story to be told. Never let your zip code determine where you go. Our teachers can create. Do you have what it takes? 2021, take your foot off the brakes. Telling you I love you cause I want you to excel. If you need me, just send me an email. All your teachers are waiting on you as well. Don't be late to class. Oh, I promise they will tell. What's my favorite school? JM, we are so cool. JM, that's what we do at JM. JM, yeah. Y'all know we exceed expectations with excellence. Excellence is loading. Don't forget, log on to Google. September the 8th.
Don't be late.
We're waiting on you. And remember, we love you and there is nothing you can do about it.
All right, it's Tap In Thursday. Tap, tap, tap in. Welcome to another edition of Tap In Thursdays right here at JM. And it is our graduation edition. We're so excited to have you here with us. We have a lot of information to share with you on tonight. The most important and what everybody wants to know, what is happening with RPS and graduation? Well, we are proud to announce that this year we are having in-person graduations, and we have a group of our senior sponsors in place tonight to talk about that, and we're excited about it. As always, when we start Tap In Thursdays, we start with our introductions and we pass the mic. So I'm going to pass the mic to Ms. Thompson, who's the first person I see on my screen.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ms. Thompson. I am the media specialist librarian at John Marshall, as well as the parent of a 9th grader. I would like to pass the mic to A.D. Smith.
Good evening, everyone. I'm A.D. Smith, and I'm over athletics and activities, student activities. So please contact me at dsmith10@rvaschools.net for any updates or information. And I will pass it to Mr. Gale.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dean of Students Gale, and I pass the mic to Mr. Vernon.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Vernon, Assistant Principal at John Marshall, aka the main attraction. I'm tapped in, or you tapped in. Now I'll pass it to Ms. Butler. Mr. Butler, I'm sorry.
Good evening. My name is Brent Butler. I'm the school interventionist and also the senior class sponsor, one of the senior class sponsors. And I will pass it to Ms. Battle.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Camilla Battle, the department head for the Student Support Services Department, and I'll be representing the school counseling team tonight. And I'll pass it to Ms. Smith.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephanie Smith, and I am the Instructional Technology Resource Teacher, better known as ITRT. And I will pass it, do we pass it to the parents? I will pass it on to Miss Terry.
Good evening, I'm Miss Terry. I'm a parent of a 9th grader, rising 7th grader, and I'm also an employee of RPS at the good old Armstrong.
And next we will I'll introduce one of my parents, Miss Dart. Go ahead. Ms. Stark, you want to come off mute? Well, that's Ms. Dark, and she's the parent of a rising senior.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to get started. We're going to jump right into graduation. And for that, I'm going to turn it over to our senior sponsor, Mr. Butler. And as he introduces or starts his conversation,
you're muted, Ms. Mary.
Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. This is Miss Dark. I lost everything, but I'm back now. I think, Dennis, did you speak to me? Okay, I'm gonna mute myself now. All right.
All right, does everybody hear me? Awesome. All right, so we're gonna jump into all things graduation. All things graduation. Mr. Butler, I'll pull up your slide deck if you want to get started.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I know this is one of the things that everybody's excited about, especially now since we're going to be having an in-person graduation. Just kind of, you know, what are some of the events leading up to that, and what will graduation actually entail? So let's go ahead and get into some important dates. Yeah, you can keep going. All right, some important dates. Next slide. The first date that everyone's going to need to know about is May 27th, and there's actually a couple events that are going to be happening that day. But that's the day that if you have paid for a cap and gown, that you can pick your cap and gown up. If you have not yet paid for a cap and gown, that's okay. On the 27th, you can show up and pay for a cap and gown. You just have to pay the exact amount, which would be $65. And that's going to be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at John Marshall High School. Also on that same day, our Future Center will be having their Decision Day celebration. And we do this every year where the kids will, you know, come in and decorate a shirt, you know, and pretty much wherever they decide to go, they can kind of, you know, if it's Norfolk State, you know, have the green and gold and put NSU up there. If it's Virginia Union, you know, so that is an event that Miss Everett and Miss Park host every year. And that'll also be on May 27th. All right, seniors, very important. Your senior exams will be June 3rd and June 4th. It is important that you are in class those days to take those exams as they hold weight to your final grade. So, you know, make sure that you're present on the 3rd and the 4th, and you're in class. And if you need to study right now, make sure you're getting with your teachers and getting all the information that you need to. But these exams are going to be important. And your last piece that you'll need to complete in order to be successful to graduate. Now, the big one, seniors, your very last day of school will be June the 11th. So, ooh, yay, happy day for you guys. That'll be the last day of actual school for you guys. So, as you can see, today is May 20th. There's not that much time left. So for those of you who are kind of on the fence right now, you need to make that one last push, get with your teachers, and see exactly what you need to do to make sure that you are going to be straight for graduation. All right, and there's going to be more information to come in regards to senior week, but we will be having a senior week, and that's going to be on June 14th to the 17th. And like I said, more information to come there. So kind of keep your eyes tuned to social media, the Google Classroom, and the Remind 101 for more information. All right, so as you see, June 17th is a really busy day. A lot of things are going to be happening that day. So that's going to be the technology pickup. So seniors, you need to bring back your Chromebooks and your hotspot. And you guys will actually be gifted a laptop. So that's something that's new, that you guys will be gifted a laptop, but only once you've turned in your Chromebook and your hotspot. So that is a blessing, and we're really excited about that. At 10 a.m., there's going to be graduation rehearsal. More information to come in regards to that, but after graduation rehearsal is when you guys will be getting your tickets, and I'll go into detail on another slide in regards to the tickets. And then also on the 17th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., that'll be the final cap and gown pickup if you didn't get it on the 27th of May. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the tickets. So each family will get 4 tickets per student. There won't be any extra tickets provided. Families are going to be seated, so it's going to be at the Diamond, and they're going to be seated in pods of 4, which means that if you guys are looking to get extra tickets or getting tickets from other people, you're seated in pods. So if for some reason you do get extra tickets, they will not be seated with you. You'll only be seated in the pods of 4. So just kind of keep that in mind. Also, if you have infants, toddlers, children, they are also included in those counts for the tickets. So 4 tickets per family, and you guys will be seated in pods together. All right, and graduation date is now confirmed. It will be on June 21st at the Diamond, and that'll be at 7 p.m. So once again, June 21st at the Richmond Diamond at 7 p.m. All right, so you might be asking, what's the attire going to be? It is an outside venue. So it's a black and white attire, black and white affair. So that's can range from pants to a collared shirt to a polo shirt. If you're going to be wearing a dress, the dress can't be longer than the actual gown. And as far as shoes go, we want everyone to wear black dress shoes. And because we're going to be at the stadium at the Diamond, we're asking that there's no heels, just for comfortability. And you want to have closed-toe shoes or sandals with the strap. So those are the different options that you can have in regards to shoes.
So let me jump in right here, Mr. Butler. Just want to make some clarifying things. As you said, it's a black and white affair. Our graduation is a formal event, even though it is outside. And so for our young people, we're asking for business attire. Let's be clear, business attire as we go to this formal event. So we want you to start looking for things that you will be comfortable in, but cool, but also business attire. And so if we have persons who wear dresses, it can be longer than the gown, but that color has to be a solid color. So it has to be solid black or solid white. And then those shoes, the purpose of us saying that no heels is more for your safety and because we're on a professional baseball field, and we can't damage that field. And so they will not allow you to walk across that field in heels. And so that's why there will be no heels allowed. So find yourself some cute dress shoes or flat shoes that you will wear on that day. Thank you for allowing me to jump in.
Thank you for that, Ms. Mary. And I know the John Marshall family, we take pride in how we look attire-wise, so I know that's not going to be an issue at all. Next slide. And then last but not least, so next Wednesday, or actually this coming up Wednesday on May 26th at 6 p.m., there will be a parent info session for senior, if you have a senior student. And in there, we're just going to be going over some important dates, some important information. We know that a lot of the information gets sent through the Google Classroom and it gets sent through the Remind 101, but we just want to make sure that all of the parents are getting that information as well. And the signups for that, we're going to post that in the Google Classroom, Senior Class, Remind 101, and on all JMHS social media accounts. The link will be provided in there, and registration is required. So any parents who are interested in getting more information, I know this was kind of just a a quick run by of all the events that are going to be happening. But if you want some more in-depth, detailed conversation in regards to that, May 26th, 6 p.m. And the registration is required, and we'll make sure we have those links posted tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. Before we get off of graduation, before we move on to our next topic, I do want anybody from the staff to speak up on, you know, how excited we are as I begin to pull up the information on reopening. But any words of encouragement that you may have to our seniors as we push towards this last few days, because it's going to be here before we know it. Any encouraging words for our seniors as we move forward?
Okay, I guess that would make sense to come from the school counseling team. We want to see 100%, and we push that. We want 100% of the class of 2021 to walk across the stage, and so we are excited that you all will have the opportunity to do so. So we want you all to do what you need to do, take care of any last minute needs, passing those classes, getting these SOLs done, finishing up any coursework, and just reaching out to us if you need any support. We were looking for 100% graduation, and that's all I have to say.
I just like to say, just finish strong. Just to add to what Ms. Battle said, we want to have everyone that's in the class of 2021 to actually walk across that stage and just walk with your class. So finish strong and make sure you dot every I and cross every T.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with Ms. Battle and also Mr. Gales. From the famous words of Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights, if you're not first, you're last. So if you're not done, keep working. And keep working till the bell rings, and keep going, keep pushing forward. You've made it this far. No need to stop now. Everybody on this call here is behind you. If you need anything, reach out to the Student Support Service, Ms. Tina, Ms. Valentina Thompson, Ms. Murray, myself, Mr. Butler, Mr. Gales, any of your teachers. Hey, we all for you. We all behind you. Please just pick up the phone, email Ms. Smith, both Ms. Smiths over here. With technology and with sports related, hey, we behind you guys. We just want to, like Ms. Murray always say, the famous quote we have, we love you and nothing to do about it. And our love is pouring out to you guys to keep you going so you can graduate, because you know there's more doors, more opportunities to be before you if you get your high school diploma. That's on the first step. We want to make sure you guys achieve that first major hurdle of your life.
Thank you, everyone, for those words. We mean every word of it, every single word of it. Every one of us are rooting for you, and sad to see you go, but excited for your future. And as we begin to bring this year to a close, we have to keep moving, right? Because we have another set of students coming in, and we have to finish it for each and every one of them. And so our Reopening with Love plan is available and ready, and we're going to talk about that. And in this conversation today, we have some parents on here, 3 parents on with us today, Ms. Thompson, Ms. Terry, and Ms. Dark. And we want to have some conversations about what reopening will look like here in Richland Public Schools, and specifically here for us at John Marshall. And so as we go through this plan, we want you to remember, these are the 5 things that we are going to keep in the front of our planning. We always want to extend grace. We think this year we have extended grace as much as we can for everything, every aspect of school. So we're going to continue to do just that, extend grace and love to everybody, our students, our staff, and our families. We want to make sure that you're safe. That is our goal, to keep ourselves safe and to keep all of our families safe. We will provide 5 days of instruction in person, as normal as it can be. And then we want to make sure that we are communicating, over-communicate and communicating with our students, our families, and our community. And so here are the options. There's either one or 2 things. Either we are coming back 5 days a week. You're coming back 5 days a week in person into regular classes in a regular class setting is the option for 9 through 12. for K through 12, actually pre-K through 12. The other option is that you go to school virtual. So we understand that some families may not be able or may not feel comfortable enough coming back in the building with a normal setting. So we do have some virtual options. And those options look different depending on the grade level of the student. And so for our younger students, K through 5, elementary students, pre-K through 5, the virtual option will be taught by the Richmond Virtual Academy, and those will be Richmond teachers. However, for our secondary students, 6 through 12, those virtual classes will be taught through Virtual Virginia, which is a virtual school ran by the Virginia Department of Education. And that class, or those classes, actually have a start date of August 24th. And our start date is actually September the 8th. So that's a major difference in the virtual school for our high school students, is that they start on August 24th. Now, if virtual is your option, we will have supports in place for our students, but most of all the instruction will occur through those Virtual Virginia classes. So those are your two options. Either you come back with us full-time, in-person, regular school day, or you go through the virtual option. Now you have some time to make that decision, but not much time. You have one more week, and those decisions have to be made by June 1st. You can find the survey on all our social media platforms and our website to make that decision. The default, if we don't hear from you, will be that you will return to us. We'll be expecting to see you walk through the doors on September the 8th. If you do not complete the survey to say you want virtual, the expectation is that you are returning on September the 8th, and we will see you on that day. Some things that we're going to have in place, just health-wise, there's a screening that we're going to be asking you to do at home before you leave the house. All students, staff members, just asking some general questions before you leave the home. Are you feeling okay? Are you having symptoms? Do you have a fever? Those kind of things. We're going to be asking those daily screening questions before you leave the house. And we're going to ask that if you answer yes to any of those questions, that you remain at home and then contact us. The login system for our teachers, every time they log in, they're going to physically answer those questions in our Raptor system. Every time they log in, they will ask those questions. We have plexiglass that has been installed. There's hand sanitizer machines in every single classroom and in the hallways in major places in the building. All right. We will also have, we're not going to call them the nurses station, but we're going to call them support care spaces, because we know that students come to school with all kinds of ailments anytime, right? And so we don't want the stigma of, oh, you have to go to the nurse because they think you have COVID. So we will have support care spaces in the building to service anybody who is feeling ill or having any issues. And every Richmond Public Schools has a full-time nurse this year. That is new to us, and we're excited that every school will have a full-time nurse. Some schools, depending on the size, may have two.
Harrison.
Mask will be worn by our students, our teachers. Any visitors coming in the building will be asked to wear masks and keep those masks over your nose. If we have issues or some students who can't wear masks, there may be some specialized situations where we will, instead of having a mask, we will put on a face shield. Oftentimes when we are instruction, especially instruction in maybe our foreign language classes, where while you are pronouncing those foreign language words or that other language, learning that other language, you really need to see the movement of your teacher. In that case, then you would have, or the teacher would have a face mask, and we will provide all of those for you. We're going to be encouraging students to, of course, wash their hands every time they use the bathroom, but frequently throughout the day. So we'll have reminders throughout the day. Make sure as you're moving from class to class, stop by the bathroom and washing your hands. And again, those hand sanitizing stations are in place in every single classroom. As much as possible, we will be doing social distancing. So we'll be looking at our class sizes. We will be looking at how we flow in and to lunch. We'll be looking at how many lunches we have and if we need to increase the amount of lunches we have so that we can have a safe distance during lunch. Right now, the distance through CDC is 3 feet. If that changes, and then we'll update that. It won't happen 100% of the time, but as much as we can make sure there's social distancing, we will. I talked about doing that will happen in the gym. We'll do as much as we can to have health and PE outside. When we have to be in the gym, then we will also practice those social distancing practices. So we talked about lunch. That will also happen on the buses. So our transportation team is really working hard and planning those routes so that students are distanced on the buses, which means routes may be a little different. How we get picked up may be a little different. How we get dropped off to school may be a little different. More information about that will be coming from our transportation team. And then every single space in the building, classroom in the building will have a air quality filter or filtration system in it. And this is what it looks like. It fits neatly in a corner somewhere in the room, but each class will have one in it. If we come, if there's a possibility that somebody has been identified as positive, we will do contact tracing, and that could mean as something as simple as the student being removed or the teacher being removed or a few students being removed or a class removed. Very rarely will we shut a building down because somebody has been found positive, but we will do that contact tracing. And the questions that we ask range from how long were you in contact? Did you have your mask on? So some of those things play into whether or not we have to shut a class down or the building. And then we will ask positive cases to do quarantine. If by chance, again, like I said, it's a class, then we would have to make arrangements for those students. And then those students and the teacher would have a virtual assignment for those 14 days, and then we return back to normal. There are some documents. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen right now and really ask for any questions that we may have from the parents. And there are some documents that are on this website to help you prepare for this transition. It's a checklist, a very, very good, extensive checklist to make sure that we've all done what we needed to do to prepare to return. So are there any questions that we have from our parents who are on tonight?
Well, I put my question in the chat, but I'll go ahead and ask it. For those families and students that choose to go virtual, will the students still be able to participate in extracurricular activities? And will they still have opportunities to do like extended day or receive tutoring services through RPS?
Excellent, excellent question. I am excited to say that even though you are virtual, that is your instruction that you get through Virtual Virginia, you will still be allowed to participate in all extracurricular activities, to include but not limited to extended day, all sports, all clubs. You still will be a part of those activities. Good question.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If the students are exposed to the virus in through school, are those absences going to count against them?
Good question. So our absentee policy has not changed just as yet. I would dare to say that they would not count against them. We would code those absences and document that they had a positive COVID test. Yeah.
Also, is there any discussion on if the vaccine would be mandatory for students to return back in the building?
So no discussion about it being mandatory. We know that for everybody, that is a personal decision that people have to make about the vaccine. So no discussion about it being mandatory. We're just strongly suggesting it. And as we return to school, for the first time, high schools are going to be responsible for our rising 12th graders who have to get the HEPA shot? Our rising 12th graders are required, that is mandatory. Before they can start school, they have to receive that HEPA shot. And more information about that is coming. And this is the first time on the high school level, we have had to monitor vaccinations. And that is one of the ones that we have to have all 11th grader. Right now, if you're an 11th grader and becoming a rising 12th grader, we have to get that HEPA shot before they return to school. So that information is coming out pretty soon because we need our young people to go ahead and get that before they come to school.
I have one more question.
Yes.
In terms of class size, will the class sizes be reduced to, I guess, to adhere to the CDC guidelines?
Yes, we're going to do everything in our power. Now, granted, there will be some class sizes depending on the size of the class, the physical space. For example, our health and PE classes, we won't reduce them to 15. But for our other classes, depending on the space in each individual class, it will vary. But we will try to reduce those class sizes as much as possible.
Have the school hours for the day for high school, has that changed?
Good question, Ms. Thompson. It was on the agenda to talk about a little later, but this is the perfect time to talk about it now. So this Monday, the school board voted to change the hours for school, which now we switch time. High school switch time with the elementary schools. And so elementary students will be going to school first at 7:45, followed by our middle school at 8:15. And high school students will be going to school now at 8:45. So our day will be from 8:45 to 3:45. And our team was today working on our bell schedule, and it's going to be an adjustment, but we're going to be prepared for it. One of the things that we talked about is how do we make sure our students, one, have breakfast. So we're going to make sure breakfast is given because that late start then pushes lunch back later. And so right now with the 3 lunches that we have, there's going to be 1 lunch that's not going to be started until 1:40. And that's a long time for young people to wait for lunch. So we're gonna make some provisions. And I told Mr. Vernon, maybe we might need to have a snack break sometime built into the day, just to make sure we push to the end, because it's gonna be adjustment for us to have a day until 3:40. Good question. All right, if there are not any more questions from our parents, we thank each and every one of you tonight for joining us. We're always excited to have parents a part of our Tap In. Typically, we're looking in the chat on Facebook to see if any questions are out there, but it's always nice to talk in person. So we thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. You can stay on with us. We have a few celebrations that we're going to move into. And then we'll be closing out, but you're welcome to stay with us as we celebrate our students. Mr. Gale.
All right, so let me see if I can share this. While I do this, what I wanted to do, a couple of months ago, we decided to share, to celebrate some of our students who actually met some high attendance goals. I don't know if y'all can see that. Can y'all see that?
We sure can.
Okay. So at the end of the semester, we decided to try to find ways that we can celebrate students who have actually done the best that they could do as far as in the classroom. So we decided to celebrate the kids who were able to reach that big goal of having perfect attendance. That's 0 absences and 0 tardies. At the time that we made this decision, it was at the semester. We went through the proper protocols to actually get approval to celebrate the students. So as an attendance team, we decided to not only celebrate those kids at the halfway mark, but if these students continue with perfect attendance, to reward them at the end of the school year. Last Friday, we went out and we celebrated the students who actually had perfect attendance through the first semester. That was from September 8th through February 8th. So what you see on your screen is pictures of the students receiving a certificate as well as a goodie bag. So being in this environment is big. I think everyone has been focused on how we're going to get started, what we're going to do. And you know, our main focus most of the time is grades and test scores. And I like to believe, and I think everyone on this panel will say it, will agree too. Attendance is the foundation of any kind of success as far as grades and passing the SOL. If a student is in class, they're more likely to, the more they're in class, the more likely they're going to pass, and the more likely they're going to move on and graduate and pass the SOL. So being that this year, with all the things that are in place as far as how we want to do school, when we want to do school, we wanted to celebrate these students who actually were committed and were able to actually put their best foot forward and show up every day for the first half of the school year. So we, as a small token, we put together some goodie bags as well as a small certificate just to say thank you and for being committed to school and this new environment, and keep up the good work. And we have a couple of students who are here that are in our top 10, right, Ms. Battle?
That is correct.
So attendance, being in class every day, leads to that. And that's the smallest thing. So I think attendance is the foundation of any kind of success that you have in school. And I think as a team, we wanted to actually, just celebrate those kids and say thank you again. And also, if they keep it up, we'll have something to celebrate them at the end of the year, a bigger and better prize. But again, attendance is the starting point for any kind of success. So keep it up for those kids who are doing it, and everybody else, let's finish strong.
Thank you, Mr. Gale. Our next celebration is for a young lady who is featured in what Mr. Gale just was talking about. As he said, attendance is that foundation. And so as we move on to our next celebration, I am going to share my screen and ask Ms. Battle, has Ms. Harris joined us for our announcement for Scholastic Standout?
No, I'm gonna make the announcement on her behalf.
All right. And I will share my screen.
So every year, Richmond Public Schools asks every school to recognize a Scholastic Standout, and a Scholastic Standout is a senior in high school who has excelled in academics, attendance, character, just an all-around great student. And while this is hard to narrow it down to just one, we form a committee and we nominate students, and we felt like this year it made sense to recognize China Williams as our 2021 Scholastic Standout. China is a student who is currently ranked number 3 in her class. China has a 4.24 GPA. And also China has already graduated with her associate's degree from J. Sargent Reynolds Community College. So it's always a big deal to get how about getting a college degree before you even get your high school diploma? So shout out to China for that accomplishment. And also she is receiving a full academic scholarship to Norfolk State University. Woo-hoo! So we are so excited about this honor, and we are proud of her, and we look forward to hearing about her doing great things in her future.
Awesome. It was awesome on yesterday evening to be able to go and celebrate with her, present her with her award. And then there's going to be a presentation where all the Scholastic standouts will be celebrated virtually. And you can find all of that information again on our website. It will be on all our social media platforms, and we will continue to celebrate her. As I look at her younger sister there, it was exciting to see how excited she was for her and proud for her. And so we're going to continue to pass that educational torch down. And I told her we'll be waiting for her at John Marshall when she comes and expecting the same thing from her. As we close out tonight, we want to remind parents and students that we will continue with SOL testing. Saturday is math. Math is the last subject-based Saturday that we will have. All of our Algebra 1 geometry students will test on Saturday. The location for all of our John Marshall students, unless other arrangements have been made, is Martin Luther King Middle School. And the important thing to know is that we need you there by 8:30, and the entrance is in the back of the building. Please reach out if you need transportation and have not heard from anyone. Please reach out to us. And then we'll be closing out our year with our AP testing. We have had some awesome AP sessions. Students are testing at home, and it's a different way to test, but they're testing virtually at home, and we're proud of each and every student who logged into their AP test. That is a huge accomplishment to get through this year and your AP testing. So we're excited for those students to wrap those tests up in the next few weeks. And then in June, Ms. Thompson, help me remember, we have all our makeups, June 5th?
June 5th and June 12th.
June 5th and June 12th will be our makeup for our SOL test. If you are in an algebra class, biology class, 11th grade English, reading and writing, we encourage you to take your test now while the information is still fresh and your brain has enough energy to absorb and keep that information live. Because over the summertime, we know there is lots of learning loss during the summertime, and we have to come back in September and kind of recharge everything. So take that information and get it done now. We encourage you to do that. So those are everything. That's everything we had to discuss on tonight. And as always, we're going to close out with Ms. Thompson reminding you how you can keep in contact with us and find out any information.
Good evening again, everybody. Some ways to keep updated with everything going on at John Marshall and ways to contact us. You have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On Instagram and Twitter, we are JM_Justices with an S. On Facebook, we are John Marshall. On YouTube, we are John Marshall Justices. And always remember that the website is updated frequently, and there's a lot of information on there. And the website is rvaschools with an S.net/JMHS.
Did you say we have a YouTube page?
Yes, ma'am. We have a YouTube page. So all the amazing things that we've been doing virtually, we have posted those videos on our YouTube page. So make sure you like and subscribe so that you can get your updates.
Yes. Well, again, we thank everyone for joining us tonight. It's been an awesome evening. We're so excited about the class of 2021. More information to come about graduation. We will see you next month, and we'll also see you at graduation. We are excited, and we are always happy to see you. We love you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Have a great evening, everyone.